What up, y'all? It's Golden Spaces, an Odyssey original podcast with not only Justin and Nat, but Kariemah. Yeah, you got the three of us tonight. Yeah, boy. To get the three of us together, something has to be going on, right? So yes, the Dubs got the win. We are thankful for that. Praise God. Okay. But we're not going to even start off by celebrating the victory yet. And I'm not even going to disrespect the Blazers by saying it shouldn't have been close. Because honestly, people are just looking at the Blazers records. But if you watch them at all this season, they're in a lot of games, So they're not like a just rollover team. Okay. So I'm not surprised by any of that. What I am surprised by, no, actually, I'm not surprised by it because this is who he is. This is who he is. I've been saying this is who the fuck he is. And these two and others will continue to defend him. Okay. So
I haven't defended him at all this season.
Oh, but it doesn't matter. You've been doing it. And I've been telling y'all from before, this is who he is, right? So in his infinite wisdom, because Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins are back, he decided that Jonathan Kuminga should no longer be in the rotation against a team that's full of young, athletic fucking players. Explain it to me, Justin. Explain it to me. And so instead, he thought it was better to have slow-footed Looney, Dario, old ass Chris Paul out there. Like, what are we doing, yo? What are we fucking doing? Did you need to watch that badass half to not know that? And why did it have to go on for a half? Why couldn't it have ended after like 5 or 6 minutes? Why couldn't it have ended after a quarter? Why did we have to go? Because I said to myself, if I don't see Kuminga in the second half, but it should have never gotten to that. It should have never fucking gotten to that. Because how do you not know that you need him? How do you not know that you need him in this game? I do not understand why this man cannot say, I'm going to play the right players for this matchup. Yes, Hodge and Moody have earned their way into the rotation. And shout out to Moses Moody because he was great tonight too and had instant impact. Yes, they have. But also so did Kuminga. So you don't just say, well, somebody has to come out and I got my vets coming back, because the guys who came back were not great for this fucking matchup. Like, what? Bro, I didn't play basketball. I didn't hoop. I didn't do it. Right? And I fucking know that. And then these goofies are going to tell me I shouldn't question him. I question him all the time because he fucking does moronic, inexplicable, stupid shit like this on a regular basis. When I tell you the most I can say about the man is he's above average, that's being nice. Okay.
Hey.
He's mid.
Bad season so far. I know it's been longer than season. He's had his moments for sure. I'm not going to defend his legacy like it's the last thing I'm going to do. But I mean, there's nothing to say about tonight. There's nothing to say about this season. Like, tonight is a perfect example of just not understanding the moment. And, like you just said,
understand the moment. You're 2 games under 500.
I have no clue how he does.
Y'all need to get back on the winning track. And the thing about it is, you know what, Kariemah, I was not even upset. Like when Clay wasn't hitting shots, when Steph wasn't hitting shots, and even when Wiggins wasn't. I saw people going at Clay and Wiggins on time. I didn't even agree with them because I'm like, to me, the process was right for how they were getting their shots. They just weren't hitting them. And Andrew hadn't played in a couple of games, and we know the fingers, so it's the touch, So I like if this goes on for multiple games, but I wasn't upset about his activity on the court. He seems engaged. I like haircut Wiggs. He had knocked down like one of his first shots. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I know Clay is just like, he'll get there. So I wasn't even mad at that, right? But the point is, they were not hitting shots. They were struggling, including Steph, right? So why don't you do some things to help them? Why don't you do some things to help the offense since your main guys are struggling right now? That thing is not bringing in Chris Paul, who for some reason, Kariemah, and Justin, for some reason, thinks he should only set up Dario. He doesn't fucking think that he should set up any other fucking guy on this team. He only wants to force feed the goddamn ball to Dario, okay? And then when he still has wide open looks, he doesn't take them. But then when he does decide to shoot, it's on a shot he tries to create for himself, and he always misses it. Point God. The point God, right? The high IQ point God. What the fuck am I watching?
Well, you are watching Chris Paul just be ineffective, basically. For how many minutes did he play? Did he get over 20 minutes? Because that seemed like too many. Too many.
Right at 20. Yeah, 20.
I was happy not to see him on the floor in the closing minutes.
Oh, yeah. So was I, because I was really concerned that he was going to get put out there. And I hate to say that this game probably wasn't going to be won if we saw Chris Paul out there. So I was happy that we got Kuminga in there to close, because I was really,
and not Pods either, who I love, because you know, all of a sudden it's like Pod has to play 30 plus fucking minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? So I was glad I didn't see that either, because he wasn't bad and he had like some key moments, but like this also wasn't like a Pods game either, even though he did some really good things in the game.
He really did. Shout out to Moses in the first half as well, because he was the one that got the juices.
He kept them in there.
He kept them in
the game.
Kept them close, even though we weren't leading. But he was the one that kept coming up with the plays just to keep us afloat. So yes, it was really concerning not to see Kuminga in, because I thought, all right, we're going to see him in the second quarter. That's what I thought. And then it really looks doom and gloom, like, yo, he's really not going to get in here. I don't know why we're shortening and tightening up this rotation this early on. I felt like, you know, the Blazers are young. We probably need to like open up this rotation a little bit more to combat all of this, you know, athleticism on the other side.
We are not a team that can just say these are our 10 guys and that's it.
We are not. We are not.
And you have more than 10 playable guys. So there has to be an understanding that depending on the matchup, some of you are going to see minutes in a game and some of you aren't. It cannot just be like, Kuminga, you're out the rotation in a game that he should be seeing minutes in. But I can't think of too many games that Moody and Kuminga should not be seeing minutes. The people who should not be seeing minutes sometimes are, I'm sad to say it, Kevon Looney, or his minutes need to be lessened, right? It's Dario, right? You're probably going to play Chris Paul, but he can get his minutes lessened. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the people who, and then Trace sporadically, but you don't even use him right now. So we got to get you to the point where you fucking use Trace, because you should be using him. That's it. And then Andrew Wiggins, if it's not your night, then hey, it might be Kuminga closing and not you. You know what I'm saying? And just things like that. But Kuminga and Moody, I can't really think of any matchup in the NBA where they should not be stepping foot on the court. Am I wrong, Justin?
No, you are not wrong. And that's what they drafted them 3 years ago for, right? They're in the lottery. They're lottery picks. They better be in your rotation by year 3. Like, because otherwise, what are we doing? Why do you keep them then? Why didn't you just trade the picks on draft night at that point, right? Why didn't you trade them going into this season at that point? Like, if they're on their roster, 3rd year, right? They got another year after this. This is prime time. Like, something needs to happen in that rookie, you know, first few years. 3rd year, either you're staying on this team, we're keeping you, or we're moving you. But you have to play. We have to see what you got, right? And we've seen they're positive players, right? Moses is, I think, firmly in a rotation at this point. And
who knows?
We're going to hear.
Because, you know, he switches up shit. Because just last week, it was Kuminga played his best game, no fouls. And then the very next game after that, his minutes were reduced. And then
he's was completely out of rotation
for a first half. So who fucking knows? You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is he's had a couple of not great games, which I don't even think were about him and more so about how he was utilized. But he's been solid most of the season.
Yeah. And you have to trust. I mean, like,
proved that he should play is really my point.
For sure. For sure. In the same way Kerr would just ride and die with the same starting five and all type of stuff. Like, you've seen Kuminga play well plenty of times. Like, I think he's earned at least a shot every game. And then you have to live through his mistakes because he has to grow through those mistakes. If you don't play him, there's no way he's going to stop making the mistakes. There's no way he's going to get
Pod's
better.
out there making mistakes, and you don't yank him. He don't play perfect games.
Right. And there's just some things out there that Podge just can't really do. Right. Like, he's good for him. Like, he's a good rookie. He rebounds well. He has a good feel for the game, but he's still 6'3", not the most physically gifted. Jonathan Kuminga is a 6'8" freak athlete. Like, he's got his armpit above the rim for that dunk at the end of the game. It's like nobody else in the roster is doing it. Like, so you absolutely can use that every game against any matchup. You can use that. So, I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
He draws fouls.
Exactly. He draws fouls. He finishes around the rim. He does so many things that nobody else on the roster does, and that you absolutely it's obvious that they need it when he's not playing. Like, nobody can make a layup. Nobody can draw a foul. It's like, dang, I wish we had a big that can finish around the rim. You got players that can do it on the roster. Just fucking play them. Like, I really don't understand why Trace hasn't played. Kuminga's out of rotation. They just lean even more into the small ball handlers. We don't want to turn the ball over. Well, you still turn the ball over. So
yeah, because as soon as Chris got in there, he turned it over. So it was really just like, of course this is happening right now. But I just think that
he did a nasty thing too when he like fell on the floor and didn't get that foul.
Yeah, like, bro, this ain't good.
Oh my god, this guy!
It was a flop, and I was so upset because I was like,
he threw his leg out and like,
yeah, you just cost us 2 points. Like, you got the stop, you were there, you got the rebound, dude. Unnecessary. Right. That was just like a flashback to him being on another team and him doing that to us. It was just disgusting. And it was just like, this was uncalled for. We are battling here. We cannot have you do this at this particular time. If we're up, all right, sure, do it. But not at this crucial point. Like, we needed that rebound. We needed that stop. And then you go and do this. And then you get calls for the foul. Now who looks stupid? You.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I think part of the problem with the Chris Paul thing is that Kerr told him, run that second unit, like, and like, do what you do, right? And I think, so one, he's doing what he does, which is like hold on to the ball and slow it down, but also, which I think is just a natural thing, he's going to the player who he knows and already has a connection with. But it's problematic because you're not helping out the other guys. So he has done positive things. We saw it, he wasn't having turnovers, and like the bench was, but not all, like Kuminga was negatively being affected, right? It wasn't like a universal, you're helping the bench, right? And so it's like, help Jonathan Kuminga. Like, you have the ability to do that. Run some fucking pick and roll with him. Like, you have the ability to set up other players besides. And then why are you force feeding Dario? Like, you're supposed to be smart. Like, this is not the matchup for him. They just kept stripping him. He was all, I was having belly flashbacks, yo. I was getting mad annoyed. I'm like, son. Like, and I don't even dislike Dario yet, I'm gonna say. But because he gives up a lot of what he does, but he doesn't quite yet annoy me like the way like a belly used to. But I'm just saying
the belly strays is crazy.
Huh?
I know
the belly strays is crazy.
Had it in for belly.
No, man, he was mad annoying, but he was mad annoying. But it's just that it's like, how many times you need to see him like struggling and they like, and then he's like trying to move into traffic. You don't handle the ball that well. And then you like, he's sort of sloppy too, like it's just stop doing it. It's like the times when we'd be like, Warriors, why are you throwing into traffic? Like, it's not working. And then you keep doing it. It's like, stop trying to force feed Dario. It's not working. And he just does it every game. And it's just like,
and I feel like he would be so much better in an off-ball role where he's just connecting plays rather than being the focal point of the play. Like they're running a pick and roll to get him the ball in the post with a guard. It's like, sure, he can score it a few times out of that situation, but if he's being swarmed by all these athletic players, he's trying to put the ball on the floor, go behind his back and stuff like that. Like it's just not going to end well.
No.
So use your other
and
players
that's not
on the
even
court.
really your game. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are
You
you
should
trying
just
to do
spot
that?
up three, and you know, if he has the ball, if he ends up with the ball underneath the basket, turn around and shoot, or like kick it out for something like that. But it shouldn't be. This is our offense, like pick and roll with
I also
Dario.
was triggered when I saw the zillion.
Yeah.
I was like, don't turn into Looney now. You better finish this shit.
And then he pump faking, he elbowing people in the ribs in the air, getting offensive fouls. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah. I just think this game kind of just it was just a bit too much Dario in the wrong spot type of deal, because once he was removed from that position and into a more comfortable spot where he can hit that 3-ball or whatever, or just, hey, he's just going to pass it around or whatever, set some screens. It flowed a lot better than when he was paired with Chris. That's when it just got all fakat. And it's like, we cannot have this. We cannot have this. And I think we did see that switch kind of like, all right, you know what? We're done with this. Y'all, the damage is being done and we've seen enough. Now we're going to move on. We're going to clear that out. Chris, have a seat for a good while, because we didn't see Chris for a minute there. And I was like, all right, look at us. Things flowing. We're getting back into the game. So I think Chris gets tunnel vision when he runs the second unit. And I'm not sure. I'm actually surprised just how he stays just strictly going to Dario instead of saying, look at the pieces that I actually have out here in this unit. Let's run something else. Let's switch this up. So I'm just still surprised that he's still stuck in that whole just me and you, Dario, when you have a lot of other pieces that could really be beneficial. So
yeah, it's bizarre. I don't really get it, to be honest.
I mean, he ran one pick and roll with Kuminga. Kuminga scored like immediately. It's like, why the fuck?
Look, maybe we'll see it next time. Maybe he's finally been like, oh my gosh, I should have been doing that.
Yeah, maybe he saw Kuminga jump almost completely over the rim and said, hey, maybe I can just throw the ball anywhere near the rim and this guy can probably go get it. Right? Like Dario has hit quite a few just catch and shoot threes at the top of the key. I don't understand why they don't just use him as a spacer at the top of the key more often and just have CP3 run a pick and roll with Kuminga. Like, you already put Clay in the second unit. You sub him out quick for Moody, and then you put Moody back in the second unit. So you have two shooters, but they just it was CP3 pods, Clay, Moody, and Dario. Like, what what are we? Clay's at the 4 and Dario's at the 5. What are we doing?
And bro, by the way, Dario's a minimum fucking player. We don't owe him minutes and nothing. I don't care what we did to get him. We don't owe him shit. And to be quite frank, we don't owe Chris Paul shit. I don't care what his legacy is. You are a 1-year rental, baby. And like, you're going to be used how you need to be used. Okay. And like, I don't know why Dario doesn't have to get minutes. He doesn't have to.
He don't have to.
No.
I mean, to be fair, I think he should play. He hasn't. Look, he hasn't at times.
I'm not suggesting that he shouldn't play. Yeah. But what I'm saying is it shouldn't be like this. Well, we can't not play Dario. So he has to have, he can have nights where he doesn't play. Or he can have nights where he plays very little minutes. Because like, you don't owe him nothing. He's another 1-year rental.
Yeah. I've been saying like, Draymond's going to play some minutes at center every game, right? Probably like 5 or 6 minutes at center. So that leaves about 42 left. Split that up between Looney, Trace, and Dario. And whoever's playing the best, whatever matchup calls for that specific type of big, that big plays more than the other two.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. Steve Kerr, that seems like that's just too much for Steve Kerr's brain to handle at this point.
Yeah? You don't say. You don't say.
So, I mean, not
the offensive genius, Steve Kerr. He's such a liar. I'll still never
We
forget that
saw
interview.
some
I
good
mean, like
plays out there.
he's been super like, oh, I
What
want
was
to
that, Kariemah?
give the guy, huh?
We did see some. I think they introduced like 2 new plays or whatever that I hadn't seen them do before. You see that? So
How come I didn't have no fucking rain pouring down when I went on my epic ether rant
You
of
gotta
Steve
go
Kerr?
2
But she
thumbs
getting
down for the
balloons
rain.
to give him like a little props. I gotta do that, and then
You
it
gotta
comes.
do 2 thumbs down. Yeah,
I'm doing it.
hold it in the camera.
okay, maybe not.
Got your
just
hands
the
covered up.
camera,
Move both
but-
hands into the frame.
This is bullshit.
You know
Listen,
what? Maybe that's for the best, though. You know that you don't get to control that. Like we'll take care of that for you.
But yeah. I mean, yeah. Trey should be playing more. Pods, I mean, like Pods is playing well, so it's kind of hard to say he should be playing less, but like there's just other players that they need on the court. So the minutes have to come from him. Unless Chris Paul don't play, and then you can just play Pods.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's just like utilize pods in a reasonable amount. Like
Right.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I think today was a reasonable amount because still, again, who was crashing the boards? Who was? It's Pods.
Mhm.
It's. I mean,
to me tonight, it was Dario should have had less minutes, and those minutes should have went to Moody. Like, I mean, to Kuminga. To me, it's not very complimentary, right? But at least Moody was seeing the court. Like Kuminga just was.
But I was proud of Kuminga how he came in and actually just got right to it. There was no kind of like any hesitation or whatever. He got right in it, and I felt like, look, he's watched Moody get in the game and make an instant impact. That's what Kuminga did tonight. So I was really pleased to see that. And again, just how when Moody just took over and everything, and everybody just was like, how is he not closing in Sacramento, blah, 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 blah. And then we saw he was entered into the starting lineup. Yes, I know, Nat, this is going to give, credit or whatever.
How many games has he cost?
No, but what I'm saying is I'm saying all that to say that possibly this will be that game for Kuminga.
But you guys
push the
you guys drink Kool-Aid. You think I believe there's not going to come another point in the season where Moody's going to not be played? Like, bro, he does the shit for like a day or two, and then he goes back to the fuckery. Like, what are we talking about right here? He's a clown.
Kariemah got so passionate that she froze, but but yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping that Moses is a permanent fixture at this point. I think he's shown enough. I mean, yeah, I think he's shown enough. Kuminga is still up for, we don't know, because apparently he can play his best game of the season and then get less minutes the next game and then be out of the rotation the next game after that. So hopefully this is Kuminga's game, because it only took like 2 games for Pods to just be automatically into the rotation. He's like, Pods just got to be out there. He just got to be out there. It's like, well, I don't know how many great games.
Rookie. You're a rookie who, by the way, and again, I'm not trying to say like, look, to me, if you show you can play, you should be on the court. But he's a rookie who was not a lottery pick, but your fucking lottery picks, you're not playing them. It is stupid.
Yeah, idiotic. And on a team that is desperate for athleticism, energy, just dynamic plays out there in transition, at the rim, taking charges, all the stuff that Moody has done, all the stuff that Kuminga is capable of doing and that he did tonight. They need that stuff like bad. They look so old when they don't have that stuff happening on the court for them. And that's really been the tale of the entire season. The starters have looked old and just slow. Chris Paul tries to slow the game down, but even then, Moody, Gary, Pods, Kuminga, all those guys have just provided some athleticism and some energy whenever they get on the court that just, revitalizes this team. And if Kerr just does a better job of just integrating those guys in, keeping at least 1 or 2 of those guys on the court for most of the game, if not all of the game, then I think this team will mostly be fine and correct a lot of their issues. But if he doesn't, it's going to look like
I
the
just don't
same.
understand. These guys are supposed to be so high IQ. Like, aren't you watching in real time what's happening, Chris Paul? Like, change it.
Yeah.
Come back on the court and do something different.
Right.
Why do you come back and then say, okay, let's slow it down when playing a little bit of a quicker pace is how you're getting back? Like, what is wrong with you?
And the thing with Chris Paul is like, we saw a play earlier in the game where Paz was wanting to push it in transition. And Chris Paul was like, nah, bring that shit back. Like, he just looked at him kind of weird. And then Paz was like, oh, all right, he has seniority. I'm going to just give the ball back to him and run the play. It's like, you don't have to play fast all the time. You know what I mean? Like, if the other four players in the court want to run in transition and you just want to hang back, let them do that. You shouldn't be, hey, bring the ball back. Let me run my pick and roll with Dario. Like, let them, if they're in transition, let them go.
That's why I was like annoyed too when I saw him over there pulling Modi. Now I sound like Kendrick Perkins. But when he was over there, because I saw him like, I mean, he wasn't like yelling at him, but he was like, I'm like, you're the one who need to be talked to. Stop fucking talking to Moody, because Moody is balling.
Right. Moody know what he needs to do.
Moody needs to be spoken to. I need to see Draymond in your face like he was in KD's doing the shit. That's what I need to see. Because clearly you missed the fucking memo.
Yeah, CP3, get it together, bro.
Welcome back, Kariemah. We're so glad to have you back.
I know, after I slammed everything, clearly I knocked out all of the internet in the house.
You know why that happened?
Don't you dare say it.
You know why that happened?
Because I gave a little bit of praise to Steve Kerr.
Correct.
Which it really wasn't. I was really saying that this was Kuminga's
ball don't lie. Ball don't lie.
Breakout moment to where I think we will see him from here on out, like we see Moody. Mm-hmm. I believe it.
Mm-hmm. Y'all like that woman on the show. I'ma stick beside him. I'ma stick beside him.
By your man.
Anyway, all right. Let's
we won.
Right, the Dubs got the dub, the much needed dub. I really hate that OKC lost tonight in Houston, because now they're gonna be on some like not trying to lose 2 games. Not that they're ever trying to lose, but you know what I'm saying. So they got to go into.
Wait, we're playing OKC again? I feel like we've played them.
We played them 3 times.
So this will be the last time for the season, right?
Oh, okay. Because I was like, sheesh.
Yes, but this is an add-in game because they got kicked out of the play-in tournament stuff.
Oh,
so this wasn't originally
in-season tournament.
Yeah. The in-season tournament.
Okay.
So, look, we know they're capable of winning in OKC. We know they are.
Mm-hmm.
But
they've already done it this season.
Right. So people are gonna tell you, oh, they didn't have Shea didn't play that game, but like they're capable of winning in OKC. They've done it multiple times. So I hope they can do it. But I hope because I feel like every time we play OKC, they shoot like 100% from 3.
Yeah.
I swear.
Every
Isaiah Joe
who couldn't hit anything tonight against the Rockets.
Oh my gosh.
But of course,
Lou Dort
8 for 8.
Oh, he was like, remember for like most of the last game, he was like 100%, like
7 for 7
3/4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fucking Lou Dort, Isaiah Joe hits everything. I mean, the last game we played with Chet hit the the OT, the shot going to OT. Yeah. I mean, him and Jalen Williams and Shea were just hitting every shot. It's like, all right, man.
Yep.
But that's a game where you need your youth. It's a game where you need your youth.
Which was really the point I was trying to get to. Like, do not go in there bullshitting with these old ninjas. Like, play your fucking guys from the beginning. What?
No, for real though. For real.
Well, no. All points are valid.
Be commended for using good language. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You didn't start off that way. However, but rounding it out like this is awesome. I hope I feel like a lesson can be learned from this particular game. just seeing how Portland came out. Like they were just like on 10 straight out the gate, that it was like the Dubs didn't have any time to kind of just like work their way into the game. Oh no, you had to be ready at go, because that's how the Blazers were playing. So I'm hoping from this, you saw how charged up Stephen was, that look, now we're taking on OKC. We done seen them dudes 3 times. And you know they can't wait to scorch us because they think they have us. So I'm just hoping we going in mindset, no, we got to shut them down. Shut them down. We don't want no foolishness, nobody getting ejected, no tease, none of that. Get all that flopping CP3, because you might just get 15 minutes up in this game. Just we got to go in extra focused, because OKC is going to come at us. I just think they will.
For sure.
Yeah, well, every team does. So, but
yeah,
facts, and let it be. Please make sure everyone knows. Have this moment right now, like clipped and ready, that I am saying that Draymond Green was good tonight, and he needs to basically continue that shit when they go into OKC. No fucking nonsense. Just go out there and play. He played a really good game tonight.
He did.
Yeah, he had a little stretch where he was, but the whole game he was pretty good.
Last game he was too.
He's been good this season. He just missing hella games, or he has missed hella games at this point.
I'm just saying, they be my mention talking about, do you praise Dre? Do you ever say anything good about him? I don't have to. I don't have to say positive things about anyone. I say what the fuck I want to say. That's first of all. Let's just be clear. But secondly, I spent years fucking saying positive shit about Draymond and defending him. Go research my fucking tweets and find those, okay? So I have not made any secret about the fact that my feelings have changed about him ever since the Jordan Poole incident, but I can still acknowledge when I know how important he is to the team, right? He's still their second most important player. And, he was good tonight, setting up other people. I mean, like some of those buckets he got, helped to set up for JK, later in the game, they really mattered and they were important. So, They did a much better job helping out Steph when he was getting crowded, like something that I felt had been missing in some of the last other games.
Yep. And you saw that Andrew was bringing up the ball later on, and it was just like, yes, give Curry some assistance there, so he's not just being hounded so much and expending a lot more energy than necessary when there's other people that, hey, you can dribble, right? For a few seconds, please.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, but that's the thing. You put a Kuminga out there with you, and it gives you now another kind of look and something you can utilize, right? And especially, I mean, again, the Splash Bros kind of, Steph got it going in the second half. Clay hit like a really big 3 when it mattered, but Kuminga just gave you a rim threat, he just changed the dynamic. Yeah. Easy buckets. Where no one can stop him. If they try to, you're going to get a foul. Just common sense. I won't go back there. I don't understand why he wasn't being used. All right. Well, I think the last time we were on, Justin, we looked ahead and you kind of talked about where you thought their games and stuff might go and be. So they got this dub. The Clippers also won tonight. It's like I didn't want the Clippers to win, but I do want Denver to get more losses. So it's like it's a good thing, but not. I mean, we're not closer to Denver, but I need everyone ahead of us to lose games at times as well.
Yes.
So it's like one of those things. It's not really specific to Denver. I just want any team right now ranked above us. But I mean, as long as Jamal Murray's out, I think Denver is going to not win at as high a clip, and so then the race can get a little closer, and because the Lakers, I think right now are 4th, right?
Yeah, Murray's back though.
Didn't he just get back?
He back today?
No,
I think he played last game, but he played tonight too. Yeah.
Oh, they lost to the Clippers. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I think Jokic just had a horrible game.
He did. He had a really bad quarter, I think. I don't know if it was like the entire game. I know that the numbers are there, but I don't think he was very efficient. But I just saw people talking about like a particular quarter.
The Lakers are 5th.
Who's 4th now? Because they were like 4th last night.
Dallas.
Oh, yeah, they mollywopped.
Yeah. 147 points. Like
Jokic took 32 shots and only made 9. Nasty.
Ooh.
So what? Jamal wasn't hitting nothing? Is he on a minutes restriction? Because why was Jokic taking so many shots?
He probably forced him to. Like the scheme was probably that. But I mean, I didn't watch the game.
Nasty.
Yeah, Jamal took like 18-ish shots. I think his normal amount.
Okay. Well, then he was efficient. They should have relied on him more.
Yep.
They should have relied on him more. Well, we'll see. But Denver getting an L was good. So I don't want what is the Clippers schedule like? I don't need them to start going on no win streak.
Okay. hitting the late 3 left in a game.
So they're probably gonna win that too.
They play the Jazz in Portland their next 2 games, so those are probably 2 wins. But then it goes Sacramento, Warriors again, New York, Indiana, Dallas, OKC, Boston. So they can easily lose most of those games, if not all of them.
Easily or most.
Yeah, that's like a bunch of good teams, you know.
What about the Lakers? When they done with this tourney, what's their schedule like? Because they've been winning. But then they had like that big ass loss. They're a weird team.
Well, they play the Pels for the tourney. At Dallas, 2 San Antonio games, probably wins. New York can go either way. Chicago's probably a win. Minnesota, OKC, Boston. So they could lose those games.
Or they could get a timeout that they don't really deserve. I mean, you know, but who's really keeping track?
Craziness. Well, let's look ahead really quickly for the Warriors. We already talked about OKC. That's away. They have like 3 away games, I think. Right? It was like 3 of the next 4 are away or something like that.
Yeah, 4 of the next 5.
4 of the next 5.
Play OKC. Then they have another 3 days off. They play Phoenix, and then they play the Clippers. Then they go back home against Brooklyn. Then they go to Portland. And then it's a lot of home games.
That 3 days off before we hit Phoenix. I don't know. We had 3 days off coming.
Yeah, they like. I'm like, why are you guys coming out lethargic?
Yeah,
3 days supposed to be good for y'all old asses, and like you coming out
over rested now.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, my take is that like Steph, Clay, and Dre are at that point in their career where they just don't get up for these type of games, no matter how many days of rest. It's just like, oh, it's Portland without 3 or 4 players. We don't really got to play that hard to beat them. Whereas like everybody else on the roster should be thinking like, I got to play hard regardless. You know what I mean? Yeah. They should be thinking it too. They should be playing hard regardless too. But it's like at this point, they've seen so much, play so many years that I just can't expect them to just be balls to the wall for Portland with no Jeremy Grant, no Ayton, you know what I'm saying? So
you really do got to be, because the team needs wins. You know what I mean?
Team, yeah, they need to have a baseline of urgency that allows them to not come out flat every game. Right. But other players, Loon, Wiggs, we've seen it with Moody and Kuminga. They came out like it's because Steve Kerr doesn't play them as much. That's why they go out and they play as hard as they absolutely can. But they just, I mean, everybody on the roster has to play that way, you know, like that's why Paz looks like he's jumping off the screen when he plays. Gary looks like he's jumping off the screen because they're playing so hard all the time and they're just making plays, making things happen with their energy. Everybody has to do that.
Which is what Portland was doing all night and why they were in the room.
It's why it was like, man, they look like
definitely.
Yeah, it like the Warriors are just in quicksand because they ain't even, the other team just playing so much harder. On top
and
of
in the third quarter, you're gonna come out, Steph. It's like, where the fuck was all this to start?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The body is saying, listen, I don't have it right now, But look, catch me
Is
after
that what the
the half.
body's saying? I don't know if that's what the
Let me-
body's
Whose body?
saying.
Catch me after the half, and then all of a sudden, juices start to flow, because it's different when you see the kind of effort that he puts into his workouts just in general or whatever, but it's still you're 35 and you're doing this, and you've carried a lot just to, get to this point. So at some point your body is saying, hey, not yet. Okay, now I'm ready.
Yeah.
Right.
I think mentally he's saying that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think he's probably like, man, I
physically.
don't gotta go that hard to beat these guys. He's probably like, I don't gotta go that hard in the first quarter to beat these guys. This team sucks. As long as everybody else do their part, I'm gonna just make a few shots here and there and we gonna win. And then it's like, damn, everybody else ain't playing hard. So now we all look like we ain't playing hard. Like,
and we're all missing our shots. So it's not like, I don't have to do too much. I'm gonna make my shots, but all my shots are missing right now. So now
Look, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, fix it. I don't get figure it out, because it's like you guys have to get back to winning multiple games in a row. So you have to get back to that. That's first of all, right? Because thankfully it hasn't been contagious, because the young guys come in and basically give y'all a fucking jolt.
Yeah.
The jolt needs to be within y'all already.
Yeah. Yeah. They, like I said, they have a baseline of at least, we're going to play hard enough to get it done. And if you're not 30 years old or above on this roster, you need to be playing like you're 19 for real, pretty much.
Exactly.
Right.
You need to be playing
like Andrew Wiggins only won but one championship. You ain't win enough to be tired or
That's
nothing.
What I'm like. Loon too. I mean, Loon has played a lot of games, but bro, you 27 still. I know everybody think Loon is old. He's still only 27, 28. Like, y'all need to be out there looking young.
He is old right now.
Yeah, look your age, bro. Like, Wiggs, dunk the ball. When is the last time he's dunked? Like, bro.
Man,
he almost missed a critical shot because he
didn't want to dunk it.
And in general, I'm like, y'all need to dunk this damn ball and stop all these fucking bunnies you're missing.
Kuminga's almost falling out of bounds dunking it. It's like, I get it. He's
him and
21,
Andrew
but
really should be just dunking. Him and Andrew they both have.
Andrew, you haven't lost your athleticism yet, baby. I need you to.
Not
he
at all.
He missed the first one and bounced right back up off the ground like a trampoline and just put it back in. It's like you literally could have just put it in the first time.
It's like he needs to be putting up his finger like Kuminga does, like at every opportunity.
Yeah, throw it up.
Like you need to be up because you cutting up because you cutting.
Exactly. And Moses doesn't have as much bounce as them, and he's trying to dunk everything when he gets close to the rim.
Okay,
just dunk it, bro. Like I don't know, but yeah, if you're not, GP2 is 31 and he plays like he's 18 years old. But like, if you're not one of those four that's 33 and older, you need to be bouncing off the walls, like really.
And thankful, it doesn't seem like. Excuse me, he's going to be out as long as we thought, because they initially reported like a tear or something, but it was not. So
yeah, so that's really encouraging. But when he comes back, it's like, damn, what's going to happen with the rotation? Who's going to get squeezed out that shouldn't be squeezed out? So
we'll see what we can look at it. Who gets squeezed out that needed to be squeezed out?
Hopefully that's what it is.
Let's look at it that way. Let's try to stay positive. I'm looking at you, Natalie.
Okay, well, Justin, you are our internal analyst. When he does come back, who are the people who should be getting minutes?
And
what should the rotations look like?
Well, I would start Dario. Over Loon. At this point, let Loon play himself back into shape, I guess, like in practice. Like, I don't want to say take him completely out of the rotation, but it's kind of getting rough there. So we're going to have to see how many minutes he actually can get. I know he wants to keep that game streak alive, but brother, you're hurting us a lot out there. So first and foremost, I would probably start Dario. just to get more spacing on offense. And then from there, it's like, okay, who's playing the hardest? Like, if Wiggs ain't out there bouncing off the walls, you gotta sit for Gary or JK or Moody. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. Pod should play, but he shouldn't be playing like as much as he is playing. So take some minutes from him. And take some minutes from Chris Paul. Like, he should be playing probably like 20 minutes a game, to be honest.
Like he did tonight.
At this point. Yeah, just keep it at 20. It shouldn't be like in the 30s like it was early in the season, the 25, 26. Nah, that's too many minutes for him. Both from age and from a style of play standpoint. Like, all right, cool. You come in, you do your stuff, give Steph a rest, but like no more than 20 minutes a game. And then you just kind of go from there. So I would say, yeah, take some of Looney's minutes off, take some of Pod's minutes off, and then from there just see who's playing the best, playing the hardest, making the most plays. You know, and everybody else can pretty much stay where they at. Like, well, Clay's at like 28 minutes a game. Dre's at like 28. I think Steph is at like low 30s, which is about appropriate for them. So, yeah.
Okay. Last question before we go. Justin, what is your best guess at what the Warriors record will be at the end of this month, the end of the year?
They will be 32 games in. So
is it 32 games by that point?
It's 32. Yeah. So I'm going to guess. I don't want to jinx them. Every time
fine. Nope.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx them.
Yeah, then
they'll have a winning record. They'll be above 500.
Yeah, I'm going to say they will be above 500. That's all I'm saying. Hopefully, a bunch of games above 500.
Final question for you. What is your feeling on the team right now? What's your gut telling you?
My gut is telling me that they're going to be okay. They're going to get through this kind of funkiness that's happening. So that's what my gut tells me, because I still have the belief that GP2 is coming back, and it's just like, just everything starts to click, because Draymond so far, 2 games back, he's been on his best behavior and he hasn't, bugged out on folks. So I'm kind of looking to that like, hey, okay, all right, we're getting there. We're getting there. So yeah, I think we're going to be fine.
Well, there you have it, folks. The wise words of Kariemah and Justin. We appreciate y'all tuning in with us as always. Really happy, Kariemah, that you're a part of the family now and helping us too. You've been great. People love your energy, so we appreciate you. Guys, you know what to do. Make sure you're following us on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram at Golden Spaces Pod is the handle. Make sure you're subscribed. And also subscribe to 95.7, the Game's YouTube channel. That's where you can watch us. And if you're subscribed, then you'll be notified every time a new episode of Golden Spaces drops. So make sure you're subscribed and following us, on all pod platforms or wherever you get your podcasts. And the last and really important thing, leave a review that's positive, or give us a 5-star rating only. We don't accept less than 5 stars, but we are truly, truly, truly appreciative of y'all. The interaction with us. We should probably do a mailbag soon, Oh, hearts. Oh, I don't know how to get these across. We're gonna have to work on this. I love this. Come on, give me more. Okay, so thank you guys. Fireworks! I love this. And we're ending on a positive note because the Doves got the W. Until next time, guys, take care.